The CEO of BMW, he says that full electrification is crazy and a dead end. Now, I'm curious to know what you guys think, because in 2035, internal combustion vehicles are banned, hybrids are banned in Europe. China won't be selling them anymore. Where exactly is BMW going to sell all these internal combustion cars? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Guys, I'll be at the Melbourne Auto EV show on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of June. And I'd love to see you there. I'll put a link for a $10 discount to tickets in the description below. BMW's boss says an EV-only strategy is dead end, and personally, I disagree completely. The automaker remains committed to internal combustion, hybrid, EVs, and hydrogen-powered vehicles. That's 4 different types of propulsion. Seems quite complex, especially when you consider that hybrids aren't just hybrids. You're talking about mild hybrids, full hybrids, plug-in hybrids, e-rev hybrids. Anyway, demand for BMW's EVs has been increasing, and many new EVs are selling pretty well for BMW, so I'm kind of surprised. But BMW is saying, hold on a minute, we have a joint venture partnership with Toyota for our new hydrogen vehicles. And last year, BMW's executives said that they are convinced electrification is not the future of the automotive industry. By 2040, most cars being driven on the roads won't be EVs. They'll be powered by hydrogen. So that's what BMW still thinks. BMW has been criticized in the past for being too slow to develop compelling electric cars, and was one of a few major automakers that did not commit to a firm date that it would sell nothing but EVs, and it still hasn't done so. So, the German brand has long believed that a wide range of powertrain technologies, which is kind of expensive to develop, you've got to develop all these different types of powertrains, apparently that's what's needed. And during its annual general meeting last week, boss Oliver Zipse doubled down, the CEO Oliver Zipse doubled down on this approach. He said that BMW would continue to build and sell petrol, diesel, hybrid, and hydrogen vehicles alongside electric cars. That's a lot of different models, a lot of complexity. I actually think that'd be even kind of confusing for customers as well. We take ambitious political goals seriously, but we don't believe in technically one-sided regulations that limit supply, said Zipse. The same principle applies to the circular economy. Here too, only a comprehensive approach can enable and stimulate investment, because as a standalone technology, e-mobility leads down a dead-end street. That much is now clear. The differences are simply too great, even just within Europe. Now, I don't fully understand everything you were saying there, but I still am a bit baffled as to know, well, one, why does BMW need to invest in purely internal combustion? And why do they still think that hydrogen is the future of the automotive industry? I think that's lunacy. Oliver Zipse used the examples of Belgium and Italy. In Belgium, generous incentives resulted in EVs and hybrids reaching a market share of over 60% last year. By comparison, they accounted for 4% of sales in Italy. He said that the most important question is how to effectively cut CO2 emissions, and that the answer is not thinking in black and white. Now, I completely disagree with that. I'm curious to know what you guys think. While other manufacturers are reversing course or adjusting their strategy, we are on exactly the right track, Zipse told shareholders. They're all doing badly. We're doing great, he said. Even policymakers are starting to come around. The new German federal government supports a broad approach to technology, while the European Commission seeks to make Europe more competitive. But that's the short term, guys. I mean, still, in 9.5 years, all these models that BMW are developing will be illegal to sell. I mean, not secondhand, but new. BMW won't be able to sell, they'll be able to sell hydrogen, fully 100% hydrogen cars, sure, and fully electric cars. But other than that, in Europe at least, they won't be able to sell any of these other kinds of platforms and cars that they're developing. Demand is on the rise for BMW's electric cars, though, and I think that really shows BMW what's happening. In the first quarter, electric vehicles made up more than 25% of all BMW's cars sold. Almost 1/5 of those of all cars sold by BMW were fully electric. So basically 20% of all BMW's cars sold worldwide in the first quarter of this year were fully electric. But in 2028, BMW will release its first hydrogen production vehicle with the help of Toyota. Toyota is fully into hydrogen. Clearly, BMW thinks that's a fantastic idea. Both of them have been investing a lot of money in hydrogen over the last, 10 to 20 years. 20 years if you're Toyota, 10 years if you're BMW. And it appears that they still think that that's the way forward. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm really genuinely curious to know if other people also think this is a bit mental, this hydrogen thing. Let me know in the comments. Guys, if I burp in this video, I apologize, but I've just taken 25 vitamins. I normally take about 25 per day. And I'll have a video up very soon on those vitamins that I take. I'll go through all of them individually, one by one, and explain to you why I take each one of them. Anyhow, if I burp, I apologize because, I'm feeling a bit of indigestion. So I got an email today, actually, from, I won't say who it's from, but anyway, let's call him Bob. So Bob sent me an email. He says, "Hi Sam, I own an EV and a heat pump. I minimize my carbon footprint and am an advocate of green technologies. I've watched pretty much all of your videos over the last 12 months. I doubt that, but thank you. And usually post a supportive comment. Thanks, Bob. Very kind of you. I'm pretty immune to the anti-EVers who ridicule EVs, but recently had replies to a post which really annoyed me. I'm assuming he posted, here we go. In response to your recent video on Saudi solar, I suggested that at some stage, Saudi Arabia might use any excess solar to become an exporter of green hydrogen for air transport and power generation. So basically, Bob's saying that Saudi Arabia isn't just building out massive amounts of renewables. By the way, if you didn't know this, the Middle East is installing renewables at a rate that's nearly on pace with China. So they are second place in the world. They've actually overtaken Australia and the United States. Saudi Arabia is all in on renewables. He went on to say, this isn't something I've dreamt up. It's been suggested elsewhere too, by specialists in aviation and power generation. But the comments I got were from people who clearly hadn't read the post, telling me quite aggressively and insultingly that I was an idiot for suggesting that hydrogen use was viable, asked if I understood that hydrogen was dead for cars, that EVs were way better, and was I aware of the Toyota Mirai failure, etc. The answer to those are yes, I do. Now, I don't mind arguing my case, but here I found myself being accused of having the opposite view to that which I hold. Are these people just idiots, or is this a new form of attack on EV advocates? Pretend to misunderstand. In any event, I'm refraining from comments from a while. Keep up the good work. Best wishes, Bob. His name isn't Bob, but anyhow.